For this lesson, I'll show you how to combine like terms. Let's say we have an expression minus 3x plus 2x plus x. Now, how can we simplify this? Alright, so the goal is to simplify this here. We want to simplify it, right? So since this is an x term, this is also an x term, and this is also an x, we can combine them, right? We'll take a look at this here. It's negative 3 plus a 2 plus the 1, right? There's a 1 here, even though it's not written, there's a 1 there. So 2 plus negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1, right, from left to right. So this here is negative 1x, and then you have your plus x here, so, or plus 1x, so that's just equal to 0x, or just 0. Okay, so the simplified expression, right, is just 0x, or just 0. Let's say we have a bit more challenging problem. Let's say we have 3n minus 12n plus 2n minus 5. Right, so it's still an expression. All right, there's no equal sign here, so it's an expression, and I want to again simplify this. I want to simplify it, and how we're gonna do that? All right, that's first thing we do is we see that there's parentheses here, so we're gonna have to get rid of that. Right, so I'm gonna distribute that 2 into the n and that 2 into the negative 5. Alright, so let's do that and see what happens. So 2 times n will give me 2n, and that's a positive 2n, right? It's a positive here. And then do the same thing with the negative 5, since this is a positive and a negative, and that is going to become a negative 10. Right? And now all we have to do is bring down these two terms here, right? So now we'll end up with 3n, right? That's this 3n minus the 12n plus the 2n, right? Minus the 10. Okay, so now we can look at the new expression, right? It's the same value as the first expression, but we simplified using the distributive property. So now we can look at all the n's, right? So we have a 3n minus a 12n, so that's a negative 9n. Negative 9n plus 2n, so it's a negative 7n, right? And then we have to bring down that minus 10. So let's bring down that minus 10. Okay, right? So now we're gonna simplify a little bit more. Well, actually, you can't simplify anymore because you have an n and a number, right? So we can say this is the final answer. All right, so let's circle that. And that's our final answer. Okay, let's say we have a complicated expression to simplify. let's say we have -5 in parentheses 3t minus 4 plus 3 6t. Actually, let's make it -6t plus 2, right? So now I want to simplify this expression that I have here, right? Again, we see that there are 2 parentheses here, so we're going to have to use the distributive property and simplify it, the parentheses first, right? So let's do that. So we have here the -5 times the 3t, so that's -15t, and -5 times the -4, that's going to give us a +20, right? So that's the first parentheses. We dealt with that. Now let's move on. Let's go to the +3 times the -6t, so that's going to be -18t, right? And then the +3 times the +2, that's going to give us a +6. Okay, so our expression is now reduced to this new expression here, right? Those two are equivalent. Alright, let's see what we can combine. Alright, we have a t here and we also have a t here. So these two, we can group them together, right? And then we also have the number 20 and the number 6. Alright, let's take care of the t's first, right? So we have -15t and then -18t, so that's going to give us -33t, right? Right, it just stays as t, not t squared. We'll leave it like that. And now we'll do the numbers. So we have a +20 and a +6, so that'll give us a +26. Okay, so now as you can see, it's -33t plus the 26, right? We can't combine them. One is a t, the other one's a number. So that's it, we're done, right? We can just say that this is our final answer, and we're good to go. Alright, so for this one we're gonna go crazy, right? Let's say we have -1/2 in parentheses 4x plus 8 minus 1/4 -16x plus 4. Right? So we're going to try to simplify this expression here. Alright, again, we have the parentheses we have to deal with. So let's do that first. So now this expression will become, so we have a -1/2 times the 4x, right? So let's take care of the numbers, right? The 4, half of 4 is 2. So when we multiply, switch colors here so you can see it better. So half of 4 is 2, but then there's a negative in front, so we got to put that there, and that's an x, and it's implied that it's multiplication, so you don't even have to put a dot there, right? So we're finished with that one. Now we go ahead and we'll do the -1/2 with the +8. Right, half of 8 is 4, but it's a negative and a positive, so that results in a negative, right? If you remember spoon, you have opposite signs, so the result will be a negative. Okay, so now there's no more parentheses, and we're set with that one. All right, let's move on to the next one. Let me go with this one here. So you have a -1/4, then you're multiplying that with the -16. Right, two negatives, we know it's going to be a positive. Right, positive what? Well, 1/4 of 16, or 16 divided by 4. That'll give us 4. 4 what? 4x. Right? So did that. Now we can move on to the last one here, the last term. So it's a positive 4 we're multiplying with the negative 1/4, right? Again, we have opposite signs, right? So that's going to result in a negative. And we'll do 1/4 of 4, or 4 over 4, which is 1. Okay? And that's just the number 1. Alright, now we can go ahead and combine. Alright, let's look at it here. We have a negative 2x and we have a positive 2x. So when we do that, we're going to get a positive 2x. Right? And the trick with that is you take the sign of the bigger number. 4 is bigger than 2, and 4 is next to the plus sign. So we'll take the plus sign, then positive 2x. Right? Now we're going to take a look at the numbers. We have a negative 4 here, and we have a negative 1 here, right? So it just become more negative. So we have negative 4 minus 1, so it's going to become a negative 5. Right? So positive 2x minus 5, and that you can write, right, as just 2x minus 5. You don't have to put the positive in front of the 2, right? And again, you cannot combine the x with the 5, so the answer is just 2x minus 5, and therefore we're done.